distributed on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
There's a three ball, that's short. Rebound, Renfro had it, poked away, gets it back, 3-on-2, Renfro all the way. You're not going to step in front of that. That's his decision.
Here's Duncan now. Back to Hines. Yes.
Comes in averaging just over 6. Bella number 22 on the other end. And a shot put up and in.
Royland bangs it home. Royland Ramirez smashes that one. Rose with a shot. Boom! Right to the goal.
25-21, steal now. Coming down the lane is Adams. Little Euro step, lays it up and in. Thomas Adams.
Outside to Ortiz with the long three. Yes.
That's Abajay. Abajay gave it to Brown. Brown a three. Right wing. Got himself a slight bit of daylight and hits yet another three.
Marquise almost lost the dribble, then he sees the paint. Open it up. Oh, with athleticism, with balance.
Garcia did a sweet move his first time. He dribbles it in, and it went in before the 5. Yeager makes the save, and the Runners get the big play. They are the winners. First win of the season comes at home in shootouts.
To those, 10 to be exact. In the second quarter, steal. Here comes Brown, and Brown gets a short one this time.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
That's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, Mijito.
I love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, Mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Okay.
Hello.
It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Yeah, just drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me?
Leave him in jail.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field, in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get to the business. Touchdown and tell you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Scout? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. My wife and our daughter. They didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Troy Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you back home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle. There's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. My wife and our daughter. They didn't make it.
Especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers, underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Scout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. My wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get to the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. You're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive the madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. See your big life to the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Would fumble on that opening drive. Those penalties against one of the offensive linemen, I believe his name was Williams. Those are drive killers. And no other quarterback is going to perform better under pressure of facing Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So Mahomes is already a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greats. And, you know, a thought always comes to my mind in sports when I'm talking about great. They're not always great, but they're great when they need to be. And Mahomes is great when he needed to be. It's like blaming Karl Malone for the Jazz.
Well, where'd he go?
He gone.
All right, he dropped. And Adolph, if you want to call back and finish, you can. Sherman, you're in. Good morning, Sherman. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep. What's going on?
Hey, this is Sherman. I got a question about the Las Vegas odds makers. This over-under, you know what? They got some genius they lock up in a room, or they have an algorithm with artificial intelligence. But, I mean, for 3.5 quarters, you were laughing about the over-under, and then poof, it's totally spot on.
Yeah, it's a guy with a crystal ball sitting there and going, watch this. Yeah, the little genie. Yeah, it's amazing. And look, there's a lot of times they're off, but when they're right on the number in big games like this, and more often than not in the big games, right, they're right close at it. And that's why those places are there. Yeah, you've been there. You get it.
Oh, yeah, but the betting, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing on these big games how spot on they are. Anyway, it was a great, fun game, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was certainly the back half of it was a good time. Yeah, no, I appreciate you.
No, all right, no kidding. Talk to you, bye.
Be well. The odds makers, I mean, they're all the books are the same. So do they play off of someone? Like, is it like MGM or because they're all within a point of each other, no matter what it is. And you and I could sit around, and this isn't what we do, but we do this a lot, right? I say, hey, the odds are out. What do you think the odds are? And sometimes we're not even picking the same team to be the favorite, right? Is there like one book that they all go from, Caesars or MGM or whatever, because it feels like everybody's right at the same spot?
That sounds like a great interview opportunity.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Talk to someone that
is an odds maker. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I understand how things have changed over time versus the way they used to set lines and what do they use now.
Yeah. Yeah. But they were right at it. It was 47.5. They closed at 46.5. Yeah. This is good. No, this is actually a really good one. I said I don't recall a player getting physical with a coach. Latrell Sprewell choked PJ Carlesimo. Yeah. Do you remember that? I mean, flat out, yes. No, it says that, yes. 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 Text line also says, back to my passion comments. I'll take passion any day. Cullen, House, Rudy C., love it. Condolences, Rudy, to you and your family. Steve Kelsey pushed the fine line. In my mind, it looked horrible. It says Steve Kelsey. Travis Kelsey pushed the fine line. In my mind, it looked horrible. It's a bad look for Kelsey. Is it going to be forgotten, or there's going to be people who stew on that, right? There will. You know what I saw? Well, if that's how he is in public, imagine how he is behind closed doors. Taylor better look out.
Oh, get out of here.
No, you didn't see those?
No, the emotion when you're playing a football game where you have to hit other people, and just to immediately assume that everyone in that league is going to be acting that way, I don't think that's fair.
All right, when we come back, let's get into this a little bit more. Kyle Shanahan explains his decision to take the ball first to start overtime. We've never seen this kind of overtime before. He'll explain why he took the ball. Your reactions to the Super Bowl. Where does this put Mahomes and Reed? Biggest play of the game. And if you want to get on Louisville basketball, we're here for that as well because, boy, at some point we got to go there. They're in Reno tomorrow after a home loss, their second straight loss in the pit. It's the opening drive on Super Monday. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505
294-7684 or visit HansWillerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy.
When you go back, and it's all said and done, I know what it'll be for me. What will you, the one thing, 10 years from now? Oh yeah, that was that Super Bowl that, what?
Was that Super Bowl that pushed Patrick Mahomes towards Tom Brady? Because there was a thought, after Patrick won his first one, all right, this is the dude we need to look at. This is the guy that could actually get to 7 Super Bowls. And everything that he's done, he is on that path. And at the time, even if as good as Patrick Mahomes was, it was like, do we need to do this right now? Is this the right thing to do with this guy? Absolutely it is. The fact that we're already talking about the great quarterbacks that we don't even think have a chance because Patrick Mahomes is in this league. Like, just the AFC, all the names that we run down. And we're like, but there's that guy. And it just solidifies it in a moment where this team had warts. They struggled in the second half throughout the season. They were struggling, even coming off an AFC Championship game. The touchdown drive, it was 18 drives without a touchdown. They're in the Super Bowl. It's not looking good earlier. Like, wow, there's flashes that elite San Francisco defense. And yet, when it's all said and done, that guy is holding an MVP and Super Bowl trophy.
Where are you? So you look back 10 years from now, you know, remember when the Chiefs beat the Niners, you'll remember what?
This is the one where Andy Reid takes the torch and becomes the best coach. I think what happened a few weeks ago with
the best current coach or the best
all time.
Oh wow! Okay.
What I'm thinking is Belichick leaves a few weeks ago, doesn't get a job, so now it's really is Andy Reid is the guy on top right now. 5 years from now, he might have over 300 wins, and we might have this same conversation about, hey, you know, he's got the most wins, most Super Bowls. He's the best. I think this right now, he puts himself in that rarefied category that I'm really going to be paying a lot of attention to him because I think he can do it.
So he certainly said that he's coming back, and I guess why wouldn't you? If you got Mahomes coming back, Kelsey said he's coming back, so why leave? I'm going to remember it as I'm going to remember it for the game-winning drive of Mahomes. I'm going to remember it as you gave Patrick Mahomes the ball in overtime, down by 3 with seemingly, I mean, what I believe to be unlimited time, to go down and win a football game. I'm going to remember it as the one where I will remember that third down play, the fourth down play where he called his own number and got loose on the right side and picked up, 12 yards. And I'll probably remember it as the first overtime that they played in that format. And I read you Kyle Shanahan's, I believe I did, maybe I didn't, thought process on taking the ball. This is the whole college. In college, you want to go play defense first. I want to know what I have to do. I firmly believe that they kind of forgot the rules. You always say when you win a coin flop in the NFL, it's always, I want the ball, I want the ball. Every overtime we've ever had in the NFL, ever, right? Team who wins a coin flip, I want the ball. And I almost feel like it was just, well, we want the ball. And Kyle Shanahan after the game said, here's his quote. It's just something we talked about. None of us have a ton of experience with the new overtime rules, but we went through all the analytics and talked to those guys. We just thought it would be better. We wanted the ball third. If both teams matched and scored, we wanted to be the ones who had the chance to go win. So we got that field goal. So knew we had to hold them to at least a field goal, and if we did, we thought it was in our hands after that end. You thought you were going to hold Mahomes to a field goal when it was all. I mean, you had him under control all day. I get it. Man, to me, you're playing with fire. If that's in fact what you thought, but my gut tells me they just can't go out and we want the ball.
No, I don't think Kyle Shanahan didn't know the rules. I think there's players that didn't know the rules because they talked about it.
It was Fred Warner who was out there, right?
Like I'm reading a story from Lindsey Jones that said multiple San Francisco players said after the game they were not aware of that the overtime rules are different in the playoffs than in the regular season.
So the players didn't.
So there's some players that did not know. I do not believe that Kyle Shanahan did not.
Okay. Really, all who had to know was the guy who was out there making the call. It was Fred Warner.
And they told him that we win it, we want the ball first. Because you're told what.
Yeah. That it was a mistake. It's a mistake. It just is. You don't think so? I mean, I get the whole, if we get a third, we can go win it and put it away. And
because you're leaving yourself open on the other side, even if you score a touchdown, or there's the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, they could beat you with a 2-point conversion.
But you're going to have to win that game with your defense either way.
Mm-hmm. I think you're asking for a whole lot to happen to think I want it third. I don't hate that all by itself. I really don't. Because I kind of thought that might be where he was thinking. But in this scenario, I mean, I get the ball, I want to know what I got to do. And by the way, they got Patrick Mahomes. I get the ball, I want to know what I got to do.
And at some point in time, you have to have confidence in yourself, too, just like you did in the fourth quarter. Patrick Mahomes went down and tied the game. Didn't score a touchdown there.
Okay, I want to take you that serious. And it's funny that you mentioned that. The last possession of regulation. We haven't talked about this yet. And Audra's the one who's like, what are they doing? Romo's like, they got all the time in the world, Jim. They got all the time in the world. She's like, all the time in the world? They got 40 seconds and 2 timeouts. She's like, I know it's going to last a half hour, but they really don't. They have all the time in the world. And boy, I bet they wish they were a little more urgent when they got down there and there was 9 seconds. They put 1 on the board, 10 seconds. I'll bet they wish they were a little bit more urgent because they could have had at least 1 more play to try to win it in regulation.
Only had 1 shot after that.
After that Kelsey play down to the 11. Right? It was funny. She's like, why does he keep saying they got all the time in the world? I mean, she's like, I know it's going to last a half hour, this last 40 seconds. But they really don't. And Addie's like, yeah, they shouldn't they be a little more urgent, Dad? I'm like, well, you don't want to give the ball back to them with time to do something.
And I think what you guys have said in the majority, it's easy to react to what we saw and say it was the wrong decision. Well, you lost the game, so you made the wrong decision. But if you think your defense can hold them, if you win, why not put your defense out there first then? To try to get this stop and then go win the game. And so I get that. So not reacting to just what happened, but if you think, all right, we can stop them, and you'd rather have the mindset of going out there and stopping them instead of thinking about a third possession. Because there's not a possibility that a third possession comes. You know for sure there could be 2. Third, you have no idea.
Yeah. Text line, this will forever be remembered as the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. It will for many. Yeah, it will, unless there's another one. Right? I mean, you can tell me right now, who's your favorite right now AFC team to get to the Super Bowl next year? I know you're on the Chargers. But honestly, without knowing draft, free agency, all this stuff, I mean, obviously things are going to change a lot, right? How's it not the Chiefs? Honestly. I like the Bills. Okay. What did I tell you last week? Why was I picking the Chiefs? 2 evenly matched teams with really good defenses, the best defense the Chiefs have had during their run, and they got the best player on the team and the best coach. Kind of why they won, right?
Yes.
Everything I told you why I picked the Chiefs last week is why, and that's why I sit here and we look ahead. The 49ers are the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. But if right now you had to pick a team out of the AFC,
Kansas City.
Who you got right now? I mean, not that it matters right now because so much is going to happen and it's going to be so totally different. But
we can go get the odds right now if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Actually, I'd like to know who that is.
Well, right now, the 49ers are favored. I think they're plus 450.
Right, but who's the AFC team?
It's Chiefs. After the Chiefs, it's the Bills. I'm sorry, after the Chiefs, it's Ravens, then Bills, then Lions.
Okay. So it's the Chiefs. How can they not be? But was I wrong on why I picked the Niners? And I know I'm not absolutely unique in this. I mean, other people did too. But I just looked at it and I'm like, okay. The quarterback, I like Purdy, but I heard this said yesterday or today, I don't remember when. Brock Purdy's not the reason they lost the game. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. He's just not Pat Mahomes. And by the way, nobody is. Nobody. I'm like, Lamar Jackson's really good. Can we agree he's not Patrick Mahomes? Josh Allen's really, really good. Can we agree that he's not Patrick Mahomes? We all on board with that?
Yeah.
That's why. All right. I got a bunch of emails and texts on a little basketball as well. We're going to do the Red Zone coming up at 8:30 this morning. If you want to get in on, well, I want your thoughts on so much on the Super Bowl. Your thoughts on the game overall, what it means historically. Your biggest play of the game was what? And we'll do the red zone, and you got some really good stuff in here about what they need to do in the offseason and GOAT talk and all kinds of Kyle Shanahan stuff. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Another storm over the weekend, which means, and that one kind of caught me off guard, and my car is a mess. It will be very soon. I make a phone call to my friends on the spot, Automotive Detailing. They will come out and detail my vehicle. That means they clean it, wash it, inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats. Detailing is what the auto dealers do. Remember the day you took your car off the lot when it looked and felt and smelled brand new? You can have that feeling again without getting a new car. You could just call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They'll come to you and detail your vehicle. That means they come to you at your convenience, when it works for you and where. You don't take it to them. They're out in the parking lot while you are in the office. They are in the driveway while you are in the house. And when they're done, you go outside and your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. Awarded Best of the City for 2023 because they're reliable, they're efficient, and the best when it comes to what they do. You can book online, buy online. What day is today? The 12th? Valentine's Day is in 2 days. It's a great gift. Great gift. OTSDetailing.com. It's OTSDetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in
It was game over in the overtime quarter.
But the way Kansas City was playing, I was a little worried there.
We all were.
That they didn't know, but I didn't. They were.
All right, 49er players say they flat out did not know the rules. Okay? Eric Armstead, defensive lineman, Niners. Quote, I didn't even know about the new playoff overtime rule, so it was a surprise to me. I didn't even really know what was going on in terms of that. He said he first realized that the postseason overtime rules were different when he saw them displayed on the scoreboard in the stadium. Quote, they put it on the scoreboard and everyone was like, oh, even if you score, they get a chance still? End quote. He said they never discussed it as a team. Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, said, quote, you know what? I didn't even realize the playoff rules were different in overtime. I assume you just want the ball to score a touchdown and win. I guess that's not the case. I don't totally know the strategy here. We hadn't talked about it. No. End quote. Now, JJ, I'm going to lean on you. I'm going to assume Shanahan knew. He had to know, right? And again, yes. The mics from NFL films are going to tell us a lot here.
Shanahan knew he just made the wrong choice. Because you don't go out there and say, hey, we talked about it, we addressed, we want to be the team with the third possession before we get there if you don't know.
Okay.
He just made
the wrong choice.
The wrong choice.
Okay.
That's where I would lean towards what everyone is saying. Not just because of the result of don't play for that third possession. Because you don't know about that one. You know there's one team gets a chance to score and then the other team gets a chance to match it. Regardless of what happens, and you can score a touchdown, you can go match it. But you don't know about that third one. So that's where I would push back on.
So there was never going to be a third. There was never going to be, you know why? Because according to Chris Jones, defensive lineman of the Chiefs, he said that they, quote, talked for 2 weeks about the new overtime rules, that they knew about it. Justin Reed said their preparation began in training camp about this. Andy Reid is their head coach. Quote, we talked about it all year. We talked about it in training camp, about how the rules were different in the regular season versus the playoffs. Every week of the playoffs, we talked about the overtime rule, end quote. And then Chris Jones said that if the Niners had scored a touchdown, the Chiefs were prepared to go for two if they scored on the ensuing possession. Quote from Chris Jones, we knew what our game plan was. Had we won the coin toss, whether we want to defer or not, and that was our plan from there. So they were going to go for two. And I was wondering about that. So, I mean, you guys want to talk about coaching and it seems absolute that at least one team was more prepared for overtime than the other. Is that fair?
Yes. In the post-game comments from the players, absolutely. And I think looking at the scenario with Kyle Shanahan, it's why are you planning for a third possession which is not likely to happen? Why aren't you focused on the best case scenario instead of saying,
go out and win?
Hey, if it gets here, as opposed to taking control.
Text line. They can cry and complain that they did not know the rules, but let me tell you what they did know. They needed to stop Patrick Mahomes. If they had done that, we would not be having this conversation, and it wouldn't matter what the rules were. Yeah, you're right. But he's Patrick Mahomes, and here's the deal. Give him the ball first, let me know what I got to do. It's really, to me, that simple. They get the ball first, and now I know what I got to do. This says, as long as the trio of Reed, Mahomes, Kelsey are in the game, they are the favorite to win it all. They're not the favorite. They're the second betting favorite right now. By the way, DC, I was looking at the Super Bowl odds as of right now. Like, we're going to be in Vegas here in a few weeks for conference tournament. Yeah. Rams are plus 3,500 to win the Super Bowl. You know who's got better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Rams? Miami, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Dallas. Okay. Houston, the Jets, the Chargers, Jacksonville, Chicago, and Atlanta.
Chicago and Atlanta have better odds.
They're plus 3,000. The Rams are at plus 3,500. I mean, is that worth a little shekel or two? I think it is. Speech, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Speech.
Yeah, I knew if, say, in overtime, I'm sorry, I got a cough.
That's all right.
The Niners, if they kick the field goal, so the Kansas City gets it back. If they kick a field goal, they tie it. But if they score a touchdown, they win. I knew that. But, I mean, yeah, like JJ said, I didn't see KC with any urgency. It was down to like 6 seconds when they threw that touchdown. I mean, I was just thinking, I mean, did KC actually know that they had to
But they didn't. Speech, that's the deal. They didn't, but they didn't. They would have taken a break and gone to the next quarter, and if they were still tied through 2 quarters, they'd have taken another halftime. See, none of us knew that. I thought the same thing. JJ came in this morning thinking what you're thinking. The thing is, if the clock would have run out, they would have gone to the other side, and they would have gotten.
Wait a minute. If the clock ran out, one of San Francisco tied it.
No. They had to finish their possession, so it would have been the end of the first quarter of overtime. They'd have taken a commercial break. We would have watched that, another House.com commercial or something, and then we would have gotten to the other end, and they'd have finished the drive. And if they kick a field goal, we'd have kept playing until then. It would have been sudden death.
Okay.
Yeah. See, none of us knew it. None of us knew, and that's what's so crazy about this whole thing. Is none of us knew these rules. It's the first time we've ever seen that. And I wonder how confused or how certain Shanahan was about the whole thing, because certainly his players did not know.
Well, wait, let me ask, okay. KC kicked, they scored it now. Didn't San Francisco kick a field goal?
Yes.
In the overtime?
Yes.
So, Kansas City, did they know with 6 seconds, if they just let the clock run out, they would have lost the game?
They would not have. No, they would not have lost the game. It would have been a quarter break, and they'd have gone to the other side and resumed. It was like the referee said at the beginning, it's like starting a new game. The game would not have been over.
Did they think there's like 2 extra quarters?
There were. There was as many quarters as you needed. Each team would have got to complete their first possession, and then it would have been sudden death. And so there would have been as many quarters as they needed to decide the game.
Oh,
that's crazy, right? None of us knew. I know.
I don't know. I was like, I figured, I mean, Kansas City scored the touchdown. They win it, but then I'm like, well, wait a minute. They're taking an awful long time.
I know. We all were thinking that. Yeah. No, all right, Steve, I'm going to let you go, but I appreciate you. I mean, the crazy part is we all thought that. How do you feel about a different overtime rule and regulation as opposed to postseason?
I love it.
You do?
Because the game should be different.
Okay.
Like, I don't...
Hockey does it differently.
I don't need 6 overtime hockey games in the regular season.
That's fair. And that's why they went to what they went to, and the shootouts worked really well.
They go.
Yeah.
If you don't score in a 3-on-3 5-minute overtime.
Yeah.
I am fine with the playoffs of a touchdown doesn't end it.
I agree.
I like that. I think that's good.
You don't want, but you don't want it in the regular season?
I think the regular season I'm fine with. Going out there, you score a touchdown.
I'd like to adopt this in the regular season. I'd like to see this in the regular season.
And I think it's worth conversation because we don't see a ton of overtime games where then you start worrying, extra player safety, all those things.
Yeah, I get all that. I'd like to see this in the regular season. I would. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hello, this is Jeff.
What's up, Dan?
Not much. You guys were talking about a poll about the Rams not making it 3,500 to whatever. Whoever did that poll must be Stevie Wonder or Jose Feliciano.
Well, those are the odds right now in Vegas right now.
whoever's doing the odds must be a Republican, but to make a long story short, I would take Carolina over any of the most of the teams you just mentioned.
Carolina's the longest shot at 25,000.
I hate to say that, but I would take them over half the teams you guys mentioned, even the Jets. But whoever does that kind of poll or whatever, it's horrible.
Right.
But thanks for the time on the radio, guys.
Thanks,
have a great day.
Why? I mean, I don't. By the way, the Panthers are the longest bet at plus 25,000. And this is DraftKings Sportsbook is the odds that I was looking at on this. Why the faith in the Panthers?
I can't believe what I just heard, that he would take the Panthers over the Bills?
Yeah. Over most of those teams, he said. Yeah, all right.
That's the first.
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of Panther radio last week, and they're not all... I mean, there's optimism, don't get me wrong. All right, when we come back, Red Zone, we're going to get into Kyle Shanahan's future and GOAT stuff and favorites, and it's next on the opening drive. I'm 95.9 FM at AM 670 Sports Animal.
All right, all of your eastbound river cross.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The game ended close to 9 last night, right? Then everybody drove home, and I guess there was a lot of traffic on the roads last night. East Coast's 11. You're hurting this morning. You're really hurting this morning. But Super Monday and Super Bowl was exciting. And the Chiefs are champions again. Chiefs, 25-22. Overtime victors over the San Francisco 49ers. Niner fan, you kind of, you don't need to, but I'm asking you to get in today. How do you feel? And obviously, how the hell you think I feel, Jeff? No, I get it. This one, I think back to when Seattle lost to the Patriots, Malcolm Butler. And I said, that's a hard one for a fan base to ever get over. This isn't as bad as that, but this is one of those where, man, you probably feel you were the better team, don't you?
Twice had a double-digit lead in a Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes, and you did not win it.
Yeah, you probably feel you were the better team. All right, let's get into the red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
Well, last week we wondered what we would be saying after the game. Well, here we are. So I'm going to give you a couple of names and a headline about their situation post-Super Bowl. What I want you to do is tell us what we're going to be hearing about those guys or the team and their situation during the offseason, okay? So let's start this. Kyle Shanahan blows another lead in the Super Bowl while Andy Reid gets another ring. What are we going to hear about these guys this offseason?
We're going to hear, like you said earlier, that Andy Reid's now the GOAT or one of the best coaches ever. There'll be that conversation about is he better than Belichick, and it's amazing how they're all great when they get a great quarterback. They get one of these kind of guys, and I think as much as can I tell you this? As much as Andy Reid was lucky to get Patrick Mahomes was lucky to fall into the situation he fell into to be with Andy Reid. I firmly believe that. As far as Shanahan, it's going to be can he win it? I think there's going to be a lot of talk about the decision to not go on defense in overtime. Some of the third down calls that should he have put Purdy in a better position. And I really like where JJ said earlier. He's kind of Andy Reid early in his career.
Exactly. We're going to see here. All we're going to hear is Kyle Shanahan is not a big game coach. He can't win the big game. He lost 2 games in overtime in the Super Bowl, even though one of those games he wasn't the head coach. But because of how good he's been in San Francisco, people actually put that Atlanta loss on him when they blew that 28-3 lead to New England Patriots and lost in overtime in that Super Bowl. So that's going to be the narrative. He's good but not great, can't win the big game. And for Andy Reid, it's just building off of what he's established as one of the best coaches in the NFL. And these are the things. Like, if, Andy Reid without Patrick Mahomes was Kyle Shanahan. So it's why I can't get over the top and just look at Kyle Shanahan and be like, well, that guy's never going to win. That guy can't do it, when all he's done is actually have 2 Super Bowl appearances with 2 different quarterbacks, get right back there with the last pick in the draft when he was healthy. So I'm actually feeling fine about Kyle Shanahan.
2nd and goal.
All right, let's try this one. Patrick Mahomes looks like the GOAT in waiting, while Brock Purdy looks like what?
Quarterback is never going to get the credit he deserves. It's always about, well, he was just on a really good team, and you saw it. He's really not that good because he could not win the game. And to me, I look at Brock Purdy, and it's just get in line. Whether you want to say he's like Matt Ryan, you want to say, well, could this be like Philip Rivers? Well, Philip Rivers never got his team into the Super Bowl with this. I think you should still have a lot of confidence in Brock Purdy with all the factors surrounding this San Francisco.
Brock Purdy's your quarterback. And I think there's going to be, because everybody's got X number of hours per day and a microphone in front of their face, there's going to be all kinds of scenarios, and people are going to yell at you, they should trade Purdy and whatever and get Jaden Daniels, or Kirk Cousins is available, right? I think he's your quarterback. Now, what will the offseason, what are people going to be talking about? Everything from he can't win you the big one, which, by the way, who's been winning the big one but that dude. And the last 5 years, it's been Tom Brady, that dude, and Matthew Stafford. In the last 5 years, right? Last 65 years?
Some respect on Stafford's name.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's in that group with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. I think the talk should be he's your quarterback. And by the way, he's a second-year dude. Like, he's a second-year guy who got to the Super Bowl, right? It's not like he's been sitting around stewing forever. He looks like he's 14, but he's in his second year in the NFL. If you believe the quarterbacks develop and get better, you got to think, holy bleep, we got ourselves a really good quarterback. And in his second year, he was in overtime and leading Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
3rd and goal.
Well, we talked about this earlier. Kansas City and San Francisco are currently favored to win Super Bowl 59. So what team from each conference will be the biggest threat to each of these teams and why?
Yeah, this is so hard because, we all know that it's going to change. I think Buffalo's going to make another run. I do. I think I like the way Buffalo's constructed. And I want to see what Cincinnati is when Joe Burrow's healthy. The AFC's got so many, right? You could run down what's Harbaugh going to be with Herbert? What are the Ravens going to be? To me, I like Buffalo, and I think Detroit's just a step away. I really, really like where Detroit is.
Yeah, I'm leaning Detroit. I think they are primed to be right back in this position with the level of talent they have on the roster, the trust you have in Jared Goff to play at a high level. You shouldn't doubt that this guy can get you to the doorstep and get you into a championship game with the trajectory the Detroit Lions are on. In the AFC, I'm with Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, they're going to have to figure out contract with T. Higgins. But he is the wild card, man. He's the dude that when he is playing, he's number 2. You put him in front of Josh Allen, you put him in front of Lamar Jackson. But at some point in time, we get back to what's the best ability? Availability. And he's the one that hasn't consistently been on.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, Kansas City needs to do blank this offseason to stay on top. San Francisco needs to do blank to get over the top.
Kansas City needs to continue to draft amazingly well in the first round. And they're a team, because of Patrick Mahomes, we don't look at the development of the other pieces. Trent McDuffie was a draft pick. Kalafdis was a first-round draft pick. Like, these guys are playmakers. They're getting at the end of the first round. The guys early in the second round, and that's how you win in the NFL. Like, in Patrick Mahomes, he's kind of he's the outlier because he's great regardless. But it's if you pay a quarterback X amount of money, you can't be good everywhere else. I know Patrick Mahomes makes up for a lot of that, but he's the dude that biggest camp hit at the quarterback position. He just won back-to-back Super Bowl. So it's about the draft. That is how you sustain in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. They need to draft well, and they usually do. Kansas City's got to, I think, get a little better at wide receiver. They've got to find another receiver. They've got to retain Chris Jones. Okay, to me, that's their biggest move in the offseason is find a way. He said, I hope I can stay around because I think we got it going. He is the key to what's been their best defense during that run. So I think they got to find a way to keep him happy in the middle. San Francisco needs to get healthy. This is a club that, to me, one of the biggest reasons they haven't won a Super Bowl is injuries. They've got playmakers everywhere, and, they're always got someone hurt. Debo going down was big to them. Greenlaw going down, you figure with an Achilles that happens in January. I guess he has the Aaron Rodgers surgery, right? But are they going to have him? But to me, they need to get healthy. They're building, man. San Francisco is really, really good. What do you think they need to do?
Definitely in the draft, focusing on the draft, getting players that are going to play on day one. Health is a big issue. You're absolutely right. It's held back repeatedly. It's, not something you can specifically work on, maybe a little in the training room, but drafting well and getting players on the field early is going to be huge. But you did make one comment that really stood out to me, and you said that Patrick Mahomes is lucky to have Andy Reid, and you are so right about that, because the two of them together, they're not the same without each other.
Well, if you recall, they traded up, and I don't remember with whom they traded. Was it Buffalo? It was Buffalo, right? Yep. So what if he's with Sean McDermott and Josh Allen's with Andy Reid right now? Who's winning Super Bowls, Buffalo or Kansas City? If Patrick Mahomes is with Sean McDermott in Kansas City and Josh Allen, and it wouldn't have worked out that way, I understand that, but for this conversation, Josh Allen's the quarterback in Kansas City with Andy Reid. Gigantic year for two. Like we have this conversation going in July. These quarterbacks, and it's a kind of a make or break year. Derek Carr a couple years ago, whatever. I just think it's such a big year. JJ, I agree with everything you said.
Well, especially with Tua, because you're looking at what is he.
I just think it's such a big year. So is he. And so is he.
Well, especially with Tua, because you're looking at what.
3rd and goal.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking a lot about Tua's contract. But right now, let's talk about the 7-10 New Jersey Jets.
So, it's so funny. They were supposed to have the best defense ever, right? And they didn't. And so I wonder how much of that was frustration. Their offense didn't score, and they were dealing with Zach Wilson, and so their owner continues to call out that was frustrated. Right? Literally. Literally, so what the owner's doing is putting all the pressure on us, saying, why don't we have back? Literally. Like when our quarterback goes down, that's like anybody else. Brett Ripken's on that roster. Trevor Simmons on that roster. Actually, no way he's not quarterback. This is all about it. Brett Ripken's on that roster. Trevor Simmons. And Does he go on a scorched earth and his fresh body didn't get hit for a whole year? Is he right? I mean, it's literally. And his fresh body is all good running back. Garrett Wilson's scoring like great preseason. He's got weapons. They should be a playoff team. They're not a Super Bowl team in my mind. I think their defense plays better just because the whole vibe should be better around there. Does that make sense? They got good young players. I think their playoff vibe should be better around there.
Is it as simple as it all comes
They got good young.
And Patrick Mahomes is with Sean McDermott at Buffalo. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Might be like one piece.
It might be, huh? I mean, I don't think we.
Because if you look at, how many factors you want to play now, that would game, like Brian Dable was there, Josh Allen, and they were really good when to the AFC Championship game. Last Josh Allen and they were really good when it did. I know, be Dynasty.
Yeah, I
know, be Dynasty.
Yeah.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
You're not worried about it because Aaron Rodgers is making all the decisions. That's the difference with it. Dynasty. You're not worried about it because Aaron Rodgers is making all the decisions. That's the difference.
All right, and finally the draw.
That's the difference.
All right, and finally the draw.
Zero sense of what this team does right now. That's the difference.
All right, and finally the draw.
Zero sense of what this team does right now. On the game,
All
that's the difference.
right, and finally the
Zero sense of what this.
And you got a defensive guy. Defense, they almost won some games with defense. And so I think they're young, and from what I understand, they're relatively close. No, I think that you start over, you draft a quarterback, you throw him out there, and you're going to have growing pains and struggle. And
makes sense with the new coaching staff and all the changes. In the East, the one that's
said it.
yes, he has.
I mean, yeah, it's look, man, we went out and spent all this money on that guy. Fine, he blew out his Achilles, but why were all our eggs in that one basket? Why didn't you have a damn backup quarterback? You kept that slow. Oh, by the way, who I drafted second overall a couple of years ago.
When you were listing their backups, I was ready for you to say Paxton Lynch at some point.
Well, probably. It's the rest of the Broncos' former backups.
Totally.
Trevor Siemian, Brett Rippon, yeah.
Let him rip.
I just look. To your point, who do you trust to coach? I thought Robert Saleh would be good. I did. And I don't know if he's any good.
He might look fantastic because Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback.
Right. I don't know if he is because he was throwing Zach Wilson. All right, when we come back, so Richard Pitino is going to join us from Reno at 9. That's in 29 minutes from now. And then we'll talk about the big win last night. Lobos 83-82 in Reno. Now they go to San Diego. When we come back, trade deadline in the NBA was last week. how close was LeBron James to being a Warrior and playing with Steph Curry? There was talk about that. We'll do that when we come back. But first, who wants to go to the USA Track and Field Indoor Championships? The USA Track and Field Indoor National Championships are here in the Burke this weekend. They are at the Albuquerque Convention Center. I went to the event last year, and it was tremendous. I'm going again this week. You will love this event. If you've not been to something, this is world-class athletes. You will love this. Get your tickets now. We got a pair to give away. It's Friday and Saturday. We got a pair of tickets to give away if you're caller number 3 at area code 505-246-0610. Call now, 505-246-0610, and you're going to see some of the best track and field athletes in the world here in Albuquerque, courtesy of your good friend DC at 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for March Madness.
This report brought to you by Quality by DiLorenzo, Lomas, and Pennsylvania.
I firmly believe that Mahomes is Mahomes, and he's that good, and I'm not going to.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us.
Women tonight, San Jose State's in the pit. JJ will crack the microphone 6:30 from Albertsons Radio Row. 7 o'clock tip-off. Big one for them as well. All right. I'll get to the phones here in a minute. NBA trade deadline came and went. Golden State, on the advice, or the encouragement of Draymond Green, inquired about trading for LeBron James. Draymond and LeBron are represented by the same agency, Clutch Sports, and Rich Paul. And so Draymond reached out to Rich Paul, and evidently there was real inquiries from the Warriors to trade for LeBron, pair him with Clay and Steph and Draymond, and make another run at a title. LeBron evidently said, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I'm a little surprised he said no.
Well, I don't think you could get LeBron James without sending them
Clay?
At least Klay Thompson.
Yeah, probably Clay. Yeah, you're right.
From Lakers, like, all right, you want to play this game? Well, we'll take Kuminga, Booty, future first-round picks, Klay Thompson.
I mean, were they going to get rid of Kuminga?
And
but I guess it's got to cost them something, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're asking for LeBron James, even if it's just for this window, 2 years.
Yep.
That's what you're going to do. And then the Lakers staying put, that was the right thing for them to do. Warriors are fine.
Right now, they play each other in the first play-in game. Right now, the way it stands right now. I mean, Lakers-Warriors. Winner moves on, losers out. That's legit. Now, I don't think it stays that way, but that's where we stand right now. Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Channel. Hi, Fred.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, two things I wanted to say. One was no one's mentioned about Hardman not knowing, from Kansas City, not knowing that the game was over after the Super Bowl, after the touchdown pass. Mahomes had to tell him that we just won the Super Bowl, and he admitted that he didn't know. I just want to tell you that. And then I just want to talk about the Lobos. It's amazing how the the Lobos, how perfect we had to play. I mean, we shot 50% field goals, 47% on threes, got 13 offensive rebounds, 19 assists. Now, we just played such a great game. The bench scored 22 points. Mashburn only played 23 minutes, but he goes and 6 and 6 for free throws and made those 2 threes. It just took such a perfect game to win that ball game, and I just wanted to just bring that up that we just played just a terrific game, and that's it. I'm getting ready to listen to the coach. So thanks, guys.
Right on, Fred. I appreciate you. So a couple things on Mecole Hardman. He, like many of us, weren't really well. We knew, but I think a lot of America didn't know the rules because the first time we've ever seen that overtime format, we'd never seen it.
Well, I think quickly he realized.
Oh yeah,
the game was over.
Damn, I wish
it doesn't matter at that point in time.
Why did I throw that ball away? I should have saved that ball. Give me, where is it? On the Lobos, I don't know if they played a perfect game. I haven't played a really good game. Donovan Dent was 1 of 6 from the free throw line. Now they played well in the respect that they only turned the ball over 7 times. They had 7 steals. They had 19 assists on 32 field goals. They had 13 offensive rebounds, which I thought was really big. They had 17 second chance points. They played really well. I don't know if perfect, but really well, and they won by 1. That's the margin of error. Fred's not wrong on that. They shot, outside of Donovan Dent going 1 for 6, they shot really well at the free throw line. But that's the margin of error, JJ, especially on the road against a good team in this league.
You have to play good basketball to win on the road.
Yeah. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Keep them coming. You got really good comments today. We're going to hear from Richard Pitino, the Lobo men's basketball coach. He's in Reno. They're headed down to San Diego for Friday's game against the Aztecs. That's coming up at 9 o'clock, so stay with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, Intoxicated. Rip. Plaster. Paint. Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plaster, paint, destroyed. destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros
to Fresno State. And then Friday, the Lobos are in San Diego to play the Aztecs. And Saturday, there's some big ones as well. Utah State travels to Colorado State. Fresno State goes to Boise State. And Nevada has to play at UNLV. So you got some really, really big ones coming up. And, I mean, here we come. It's middle of February now. They are all really, 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 really big. Hey, Ray, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
Not much. Yeah, good game last night for the Lobos. Maybe this is going to put Mashburn now more confident, and he'll start hitting the shots like he was last year. And they should beat San Diego State. I think they're going to beat them by 7. And one question, I keep hearing all these quad 1 wins, and they say, well, we won last night and beat Nevada for a quad 1 win, so that gives us 3. But what happened with the first time we played Nevada? Why isn't that a quad 1 win? If you guys could help me out. Thanks.
Right. That was a quad 1 win, wasn't it? Their last time when they beat, it's a really good question. Because people were saying they've only got 3, and that would be Utah State and San Diego State, now Nevada. It's where you are when you play them, right? So were they not, or no, is it where you are at the end?
Where you're at the end.
So why wouldn't they both be quad 1?
So quad 1 is because they weren't a top 30 team.
So then why is it now?
Because you won it on the road.
Okay, so it matters. It's different on the road?
Yeah. So
because I don't understand it either.
A quad 1 home win.
Yeah.
If you're at home.
Yeah.
Home games are opponents with a net ranking of 1 through 30.
1 through 30 is quad 1.
So they.
Okay.
So if you're outside of that, it's not a quad 1 home win because you're the home team.
Okay.
They're like 50.
All right.
So it's always a moving.
So is a road win different? Is it 1 through 30 or is it different on the road? Because why is that?
1 through, so on the road, it's, so if you're the road team that goes in.
No, if you're
it's 1 through 75.
Okay.
So you get a little bigger window.
There you go, Ray. That's the answer.
As a road team, as opposed to the home team who comes in.
So quad 1 win, if you'd played Nevada at home, if they have to be in the top 30, which they're not, it's a quad 2 win. But if you play them on the road, it's weighted differently, and it's 1 through 75. It's a quad 1. I did not. Ray, thank you for asking that, because I didn't know that either.
Absolutely, very convoluted. And
I flat out did not know that.
You have so many numbers being thrown.
John, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, John.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. It's been a while, but I have a question about the NFL, the overtime rule from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now there was. The Chiefs scored with 3 seconds left in the overtime.
Yep.
Now, what if the Chiefs still had possession of the ball?
Yep.
And they second down, and the clock went down to 0.
They would have taken a break, called it a quarter, gone to the other side of the field, and continued playing like it was the end of the 5th quarter and gone to the 6th quarter. It would have been a quarter break.
Okay, that's what I thought was going to happen, but I just, nobody has said, or I haven't heard for sure.
Yeah, Romo tried to say that as the play was happening, but I think we were all confused because I didn't know it at the time. JJ came in thinking something different the next morning. We were all confused because we've never seen it before. But I know we're all sitting there just going, why is there no urgency? They're going to run out of time, and this is going to be the biggest debacle in the history of sports, and they're going to leave it right there on the 3-yard line. But it would have continued.
Yeah, and I think that San Francisco blew the game when at the start of the second half they passed the ball 10 times and ran it once.
Yeah, it was interesting.
They kept having to punt the ball away. And, but anyway, it was a good game. Snacks were good, and the Lobos rock right now.
John, good to hear you. Don't be a stranger. Thanks for the call. All right, Lobos rocked last night, 83-82. I mean, the margin of victory, right? I mean, you lose by 3, you feel like crud. You win by 1, you feel on top of the world. Lobo head coach Richard Pitino is set to join us next from Reno after a gigantic win last night. We'll hear what he has to say. Looking forward to this conversation, and we'll ask him if he knows anything on the status of Donovan Dent, who rolled his ankle evidently. Who's the leader of his team? And did he expect Jamal Baker to be this effective defensively? Richard Pitino's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on.
Here's running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Deep feet smash, corner three. Yes, indeed. Lobos by one. 83-82. 26 left.
Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Lobos win in Reno last night, 83-82. A huge win, a quad one win on the road, a win in a close game, a bounce back from a loss in the pit, and whatever bubble implications it has, and we'll see going forward, in a great momentum and confidence boost. And it's got you feeling a whole lot better after staying up late, right? You're going to stay up late. Good morning on Valentine's Day. Waking up a winner is good, and I know Richard Pitino's got to feel that way. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Richard Pitino is the head coach of the Lobos, coming off a big win in Reno last night. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Richard. Thanks for getting up and joining us this morning. How you doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you guys having me.
No, appreciate you doing this. I thought last night in so many ways was big. This was the first tight game that you had won in league play, and you've been winning games by double digits, which I think is terrific. I always wondered, where were you going to go for a shot? And you found a guy who was steady. it means a lot to win a game like that because you're going to play a lot of tight games, I would assume, down the stretch in March, don't you think?
Yeah, especially to do it on the road, too. As we know, getting into February and March, road wins are worth more than home wins. So to be able to have 4 road wins in a row, lose that close one to UNLV at home, and then to bounce back and just – that's a great environment over there in Nevada. We hadn't won there in a while. To make big shots at the end, to get the stop when we needed to on the same play that we didn't get the stop on last year. So there's highs and lows in this profession, and you got to stay even keel. So we're fired up about it, but we got to move on certainly to San Diego State.
Such a good feel for Mash because he's such a quality human being, and I know how you feel about that young man. And he'd been slumping a little bit, and he'd been taking it from social media and from people. For him to come up big in that moment, look, it's great for the team, it's great for the program, but I know how it's got to be huge for that young man.
Yeah, he was really down the next day. For one, he missed a layup, I believe, to tie it. He missed a mid-range jumper to tie it as well versus UNLV, shots that he worked so hard on. And he comes in the next day, and he's really, really down. And, he constantly says to me all the time, well, I work so hard, I feel like I need to do this or whatever. And I always say, listen, like, working hard is not like a license for great results all the time. What it is it's going to have you ready for the moment so that when you got 2 shots on the road at Nevada, like, you're going to have the confidence to shoot those. So he was getting beat up on social media. Why he would even read it after you don't play well is beyond me. But young people do that. They're a little bit different than old people. So I just think it shows you the positives and the negatives of living in that world. And it's really hard because it's a drug to them. All the pictures they post on Instagram and the positive stuff. Well, I always try to tell them, criticism is just like praise. It's all the same to me. And you got to have conviction of what you're doing and understand that when you put yourself out there, it's a risk of you're not going to play well or you're going to miss a shot, and that criticism is going to follow.
Richard, when you talk about the character and composure of individual players, but also this team, is you guys haven't lost back-to-back games this year. How much does that go to what they are able to do to refocus on the next task ahead?
Well, I think for me it's always been about progress from year 1 to year 2 to year 3 to where you're building a program and then being able to sustain it. And there's no doubt in my mind, obviously, we made progress from year 1 to year 2. To go to the postseason for the first time in 9 years was great. Everybody certainly wants to go to the NCAA tournament. Everybody certainly wants to win the Mountain West. But my focus is just how do we progress from last year to this year? We lost a close game last year at Nevada, and Donovan and House and Mash were on the court when that happened. So to be able to come back and show the toughness to go get that win was huge. And like you said, it's the character of this program. It's what we're trying to build so that we can sustain it. And in order to be a championship program, and I'm not saying we're there yet, you got to win on the road, and you got to find a way to get it done. And we did last night.
4 in a row on the road. Richard Pitino is with us on the Sports Animal.
One of the things you said after the game last night is, maybe you need to trust Jamal Baker a little bit more. There's just something about him. And he was joking post-game that, he just has an old man game, so maybe it doesn't look great all the time. But what did you learn about Jamal Baker that you said, all right, this is why I need to trust him?
Well, I think what people have to understand is, and this isn't a knock on Jamal. Jamal's like Baker is one of my favorite kids I've ever coached. But he's in and out of practice a decent amount. If we go a little bit long, we got to rest him, this and that. So, I don't know what his body's feeling. He's had a history of injuries and so on. So I've told him many times, like, I just got to trust you because you look hurt, and he said, Coach, that's just the way that I am kind of in my career. He goes, throw me out there. So we had a good talk after the UNLV game. Like, I know in order to defensively do what we need to do, we need more size, especially for UNLV and Boise State and those things. So I told him, I said, I'm going to roll with you. Be ready. And he certainly was ready, made some really big shots in the first half. And then we went with him on Blackshear at the end, and that length really helped.
Yeah, I want to talk about the defensive side because when he committed, I think everybody talked about him being an offensive spark and he's going to be the answer for three-point shooting. Did you anticipate him being as big of a piece defensively as he has become for you?
Well, I think, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't right now, because you've got Donovan, Mash, and House, three really, really good players, but they are small. And you could sit there and go, well, don't play them. Well, I mean, they did win us 22 games last year. We are 20-5. Yeah. So it's not like we're some disaster right now and we got to really, really start over. But you're going to have to be a little bit more situational, and I think we've got to have faith in putting a guy like Baker in, or even Truin. We put those two guys in, and the lead grew. And a lot of that has to do with length. Yes. We're bigger when they're in the game. So is it the end-all, be-all? No, I don't think it is. If I didn't have the confidence that I needed to have in Mash, he wouldn't have been in the game at the end making those 2 threes that won us the game. So you got to hopefully Jamal Baker continues to stay healthy. He's the veteran that we wanted to bring in. We felt like he could do those little things, and Mash certainly made big shots, but Jamal Baker made a huge play at the end.
And he found the right mix last night. He's Richard Patino, Lobo men's basketball coach, with us on These Sports Animal. Lobos win in Reno, 83-82. First UNM win in Reno in 8 years last night, and a huge road win going to San Diego on Friday. Somebody asked this morning, Richard, who's the leader of this team? We're talking about Mash and his composure and his poise and his maturity, and then he hits the big shots. And I said, honestly, I'm not close enough to this team to know who the leader in that locker room is. Is there a leader? Is it leaders plural? Who would you say are the leaders of this team?
I would say me to start.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, that's the easy answer.
I think from a player perspective, they've all had turns where they've been great leaders. I think Jalen House has really stepped it up in that department. You can tell he's older and he wants to win so badly. Mash is more of a lead by example. Now he's got a good mindset in the locker room. He communicates very, very well with everybody. Jamal Baker's that older guy. But I think everybody goes through phases, and true leadership is, especially in today's world with social media, is, and I told the guys after UNLV, I said, guys, I was really down after that game, really down. And that's okay. And I got some rest, and I came back confident as ever and ready to go coach the team. You got to do the same thing. So they've got to make sure that they continue to stick with their beliefs, regardless of what a fan may say on Twitter or whatever a fan may yell at them from the stands or whatever, and just have conviction in what we're doing. And it's as corny as it may be at times, the Ted Lasso believe, like that's a great message. And, sports are a great, microcosm of life and what we all go through. And so if they continue to have that belief, there's a lot of great leaders in this locker room. And, Quentin Webbs and Braden Opelons, who don't play a lot, they're such great teammates. So, it really depends on the day. But certainly Mash and House and Baker are the captains, and they've been pretty good this year.
Richard, I want to go into that final play a little bit more, and it's one that you see, guard goes baseline, tries to find someone in the other corner, but so many times a player could step on the baseline, miss that throw, just how Donovan was able to execute it, and then, Mash just that catch and shoot in the corner.
Well, I think it's funny, coaching it's so many highs and lows. Like the game before, I didn't call a timeout in a similar situation, and Mash missed the layup. This year, same thing, I believe Donnie's going to go make the right play. I don't want to let them set up their defense. They're a very good defense. So Donnie just brings the ball off the right side. Mash, we've talked often about moving without the ball well. And one of the things that we've talked to our guards about is hit the drift more. The drift is that corner three. I think Jalen House hit Jamal Baker in front of their bench earlier in the game. So the spacing was very, very good. Donovan puts a lot of pressure on the rim because he's a great layup maker, and it was a terrific pass to Mash. It was right there in his shot pocket, and he knocked it down.
How's Donovan? Any word? We saw the game. It looked like he turned his ankle on the last play. I know he was helped off the floor. Any word? I'm assuming you probably haven't seen him this morning.
Yeah, I haven't seen him this morning. We took him to get an X-ray just to be precautionary. It's nothing long term by any means. We'll kind of revisit and see how he is the next 2 days for San Diego State, but knock on wood, it's nothing serious besides an ankle sprain. How severe it is, it's hard to tell until you see all the swelling and stuff. But fortunately, the X-ray looked good.
All right, next one's San Diego State. They're the only team in your league still undefeated at home. They outscored Colorado State 41-11 yesterday in the second half. And this is a big one. I'm watching teams fall on the road all over the country every day. And you've won 4 in a row on the road. It is so hard to play on the road. Everybody talks about it. Is there a serenity, a focus, something you're doing right? And not a lot of programs are winning on the road. What has it been over this last 4 games stretch where you've gone on the road and looked, dare I say, really comfortable and confident?
Yeah, you know, sometimes, especially with our fan base, which is a great fan base, sometimes there's a little pressure of playing at home, too, because you don't want to let them down, you know. And I do feel like the 2 home games, UNLV and Boise, we were a little bit tighter at home than we were on the road. And I think this Nevada game was like perfect timing. Like, you don't ever want to play on the road. Like, I wish we could play every game in the pit. But we needed to kind of get away from our fans a little bit and just lock in on just the game. I don't know. I think it's just been a business-like approach. I think hopefully as we continue to build the program, we have older guys who have experienced it before. You know, and then they've been like Wyoming. Everybody was reminding us how hard it is to win there, or Air Force. Everybody's reminding you about what's happened in the past. And I think our guys have they've been very, very confident. They've been very, very businesslike. And, you know, I mean, it's like you said, there's not a lot of teams that are winning 4 in a row in conference on the road. So proud of them.
All right, lastly, I tried to put this in perspective. I thought this win was huge. I thought it did so many things. It bounced back from a loss. It was a quad 1 road win. It was the first time in conference that you've won a tight game, that you've had to even really play a tight game, especially on the road. It sways you whichever way you're looking at bubbles for NCAA tournament. And I don't know if you just said before, but this was a big win for you going into this game, because you've got, you look at these 4 road games that you've got there, San Diego, Boise, and Logan, and you probably needed to pick off probably 2 of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we lose the next 6, none of it's going to matter, right? So it's like I think it feels big because the stakes are high right now. You know, we're in the middle of a championship race in the Mountain West. We're certainly in the hunt for an NCAA tournament bid, which I know we all want to go to. So we needed a quality win. What I told the guys before the game was, I know we're down about the opportunity we squandered for UNLV. 5 of our next 7 games are quad 1 win opportunities. Like that's what you want. You want to be in a conference that's like that, because it gets to a point where some of these games don't help you when you win anymore. You know, so to go into Nevada after, you know, a devastating loss for UNLV and find a way to get it done, I think it says something about this locker room and the coaching staff and the job that they've done. You know, so we're excited that with what we walked into in year 3 to be playing these really, really important games, these meaningful games, and to be able to find a way to go win them. I mean, we're sitting at 20-5. Yep. You know, I mean, that's amazing, and really, really proud of everybody.
It's kind of the beauty of what the program's becoming and what the league has become, and you've got an opportunity, you know, almost every time out there the rest of the way. Really appreciate you getting up early this morning and spending some time with us. Congratulations. That's a big win last night. Safe travels down to San Diego, and good luck against the Aztecs. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Be well. Richard Patino, the head basketball coach. There's a lot in there. A lot in there. Who's the leader of this team? I would say me. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like this shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
Or share it, or you missed it. It's wherever you get your podcasts. Put in the opening drive and find Richard Pitino's conversation. It's on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It'll be there. JJ, a number of fascinating things in there. The road stuff was interesting to me. And I've heard people say this, and it's such a fine line because you don't want to say, I'd rather be away that the fans are a distraction, because you'll never say that. And I don't even think distraction is the right word. That's why I asked the question the way I did. They've won 4 in a row on the road. I'm watching teams all over America lose everywhere, and they may lose in San Diego on Friday. They may win. Yes, they lost to Colorado State and UNLV to start the conference schedule, but they won 4 in a row on the road. They've locked in. Well, Jeff, where'd they go? Well, they just went to Reno. Okay, and the way I asked it is there a serenity, a peace, a focus, whatever it is? And he said, it is. He said, we love our fans. They love to play every game in the pit. But you get away from some of the noise, and I don't think he used the word noise. I'll paraphrase it, and you can concentrate on business sometimes.
There is a different pressure even when you're at home, because when you miss a free throw, the whole building. and just it's the reality of it. It's like the fans are hyper engaged for you, so they're going to live and die by every single passing possession, and you can't do that as a player. That's your job as a fan, to bring that energy, act that way, to make this a building that other teams don't want to come into. But there's a real energy. It's momentum is something that it's there when it's good and it's there when it's bad, and so you're going to feel that at home if things aren't going your way. Feel that pressure, whatever.
And I think there is pressure.
Like that's what you have to adapt to. And that's the process of growing as an athlete at any level, of understanding the expectations that this team has built, and now the fans expect to see game in and game out from the Lobos.
I don't want to. I'm trying to find the right way to ask this question because I don't want to sound whatever. Is it easier? Easier is not the right word. When you have a home court advantage like the Pit, right? And Richard said the other day, I wish we could have taken advantage of, this great crowd. And I do feel like, and he said at the beginning, we don't want to lose a game in this Pit. We don't want to let the fans down. Is there a sense of, we're letting the fans down, as opposed to if you play at San Jose State, right? You have a home court advantage. You're on but you don't have the screaming fans. You don't have sold out place, whatever. And if you lose, you let down 3,200 people who kind of care, right? This is a different place. And playing in front of that fan base, and that's something that really talked to Kenny about on Friday, because he played in front of 18,000 people regularly. The extra, and again, it's a first world problem. I'm well aware of that. But first world problems are still problems, aren't they?
Absolutely. It's something you want to learn how to do.
The other thing, he talked about Mashburn, and the way I wanted to ask that question is I know how Richard Pitino feels about Jamal Mashburn, and I think most Lobo fans, even those of you who were beating him up on social media and yelling that he should be sitting down and that he doesn't hit big shots and where is he in big games and whatever, I've read it all, I've heard it all. You sent it directly to my phone. He came up big last night, and just for the young man, for the person, never take the basketball player out of it. He talked a little bit about the human being that is Jamal Mashburn, right? And what did he say? He said, I told him, I don't know why you would check social media after that. And he flat out said it's like a drug.
It is. There's not a moment where these players don't have their phone. The only moment they don't have their phone is during the game.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've been the focus of the social media stuff? And
little.
So I'm not gonna lie. After the bowl game this year, and the whole thing that went down, after what Jerry Kill said, and it was going back, I had to be conscious of not going to social media. I read a bunch of it afterwards, and people sent me stuff, and but I had to be really, when you're the focus of it, it's what are people saying about me? Now I'm not nearly in the position that Jamal Mashburn is, right? But it's the only. It's somewhat analogous, right?
Well, it all of us in some way or another.
Well, yeah, doing what we do, we get hit all the time.
Are on social media, and even if it's like one comment where someone gets under your skin, like you want to respond to everything, and you have to learn you can't. Like you got to.
I responded none of it.
You just got to.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, no, I respond. I mean, you see my presence on social media, but yeah, I got called, names yesterday, right here on the show via the text line. So I mean, yeah, we're out there, but it's hard to not look at it. And what did he say? He says that's what young people do. He says old people were different, but that's what the young people do. It's like a drug. I thought he was terrific today, and I thought the perspective was good, and I thought the most candid thing he said. And I appreciate this because I've told you that one of my favorite things about Richard Pitino as a coach is his demeanor. I like his sideline demeanor. I like the way he interacts with his players. I like the way he interacts with the media, and I don't think he gets too high or too low. But I think I know him well enough that I know when a loss really gets to him. And I felt a different tone in his voice after the UNLV game on Saturday where they lost the Pit. And he just said, I came in the next day and said, guys, I was really down after that loss. He said, I was really down after Saturday's loss. And I got some rest and I refocused and came back and said, all right, now paraphrasing, we got work to do. But I thought that was really telling, and I appreciate his candor with that, because it's okay to be human, and I love the way he regroups and is able to, I don't know, get rest, step away, and figure things out.
Yeah, in basketball, it's even different than in football. In football, they tell you, all right, you got 24 hours. In basketball, it's 12-ish. It's you wake up, you got practice the next day.
Yeah.
You want to move on to the next thing. And there's a reason that in sports, we end up talking in cliches a lot, because they come from a place of they're there.
Well,
a lot of cliches
reality,
are used when you talk about your next game up, staying focused, character. All these things are what you're striving for to find a consistency. And you're a human being, and when you win and lose, things are going to hurt or feel a certain way. But then, what do you do the next time the alarm clock goes off? How do you click to that next step and move on? And for the Lobos, it's one of the things that does stand about this team. They have not lost back-to-back games this year, and it doesn't,
which is huge.
Because
this was the opportunity, wasn't it?
Because you're on the road against a good team in Nevada. Just lost to UNLV, frustrated. The questions for everyone, coaching staff, players, go out there, get a win.
And you were down late on the road. You were down, with 30 seconds to go, down by 2?
Down by 2.
Yeah, and big. The other thing that was big that came out of that, they did the Donovan Dent x-ray last night on his ankle. And it sounds like he's questionable for San Diego State. When you say, I'm going to guess he plays a Southern California game for a Southern California kid. If he can go, he's going to go.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see how he wakes up this morning. But the good news is on Donovan Dent, and this is breaking news here this morning, I guess, that they did do an x-ray last night, and it, as Richard said, it's nothing long-term. He sprained his ankle. He sprained his ankle. You and I have all, and everybody who's played basketball, and probably anybody who's played any sport, has sprained an ankle. And when you wake up in the morning, it might be thick and purple, right? Maybe a little yellow and orange, depending on whatever color, right? That morning after ankle sprain is somewhat miserable.
You know what's really miserable? When you don't really remember you hurt your ankle and you stand up.
And you say, how did I do that?
After you've fallen down and cleared the tears away? Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, when it wasn't throbbing yet when you got out of bed?
No, not
you
until
just got up. Oh, hey, oh, damn.
That was the last time I sprained my ankle.
Yeah, no, look, ankles, and there's difference, high ankle sprain and low, right? I mean, there's a big difference. We'll get more on it, and Richard said he had not seen Donnie this morning. But I probably as good a news we could have heard, right? X-ray negative, and it's an ankle sprain. I mean, it's not good news that it's an ankle sprain, but we all knew that there was something, right? And so that came out of it. Again, the Richard Pitino conversation, and he was really good, and he usually is up on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. You can hear that, or wherever you get your podcasts. It'll be there for you. 505-246-0610 is how to get in today. 888-922-0610. Your emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Evidently, the Warriors weren't the only team to try to get LeBron James. Somebody in the East did as well. Oh, and you know what you get to hear this week? Well, maybe you don't get to hear it this way, but you get to see it. On the team from the USA, Tiger Woods. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction
get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's
I mean, it's like right on. All right, I told you earlier that the Warriors had inquired about LeBron James. Evidently, they weren't the only team that the Lakers shot down. The Sixers evidently wanted to acquire LeBron James as well.
LeBron James?
This is from ESPN. If the Lakers ever wanted a temperature check on James's commitment, here was the chance to tell them. In the end, the answer for the Warriors and Lakers returned resoundingly. On the eve of the trade deadline, Rich Paul told the GM of the Warriors that basically they were out, and then the Sixers wanted to get in too.
The Sixers.
This is
Daryl Morey was like, "I'm going to call everyone."
Well, but okay. So here's what the Sixers could offer up. Is that right? The Warriors. Okay, the Warriors would have potentially given 2 future first-round picks: Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins.
I forgot about Chris Paul.
Combining the salary.
He's still in the Warriors.
Let's say the Lakers threw in Christian Wood, or they could have built something around Klay Thompson. Lakers most certainly would have asked for Kuminga, as you said. It's interesting.
Here, we'll give you
But it didn't happen.
a dude that's hurt and a guy that's been way underwhelming this year for LeBron James.
Yeah. Lakers are like, oh, no, we're all right.
We're good.
Yeah. All right, Jeffrey, you want to talk global basketball? Good morning, Jeffrey. How you living?
Just still waking up here.
It's a late night.
Exciting game. It was. And, I could argue that the win last night was probably, in terms of this, if you put it on a scale, probably outweighed the loss, Saturday, which was devastating. But I wanted to comment on something that JJ said. What drives me crazy about sports is some of the cliches, some of the terminology, some of the nomenclature, but particularly the word adjustments. But relative to Lobo basketball, last year, implementing or substituting the taller guards defensively for the Lobos, that wasn't even an option last year because we didn't have the personnel. So I wanted to thank or recognize even some of the recruiting by the staff Pitino has put together to have the capacity to implement, a defensive change by putting taller guards in a game like that. So it's something that we sometimes don't even think about. But when we talk about adjustments, in order to do that tactically, you have to have the personnel to implement, those types of adjustments.
Jeffrey, let me go back to something Richard said at the end of the season, and I mentioned this because it's right on what you're talking about. At the end of the year, he said we got to get better defensively. And everybody pointed out you have small guards. Well, you're not going to get rid of Mashburn, House, or Dent, right? They're terrific. And they got better defensively. I don't even think it's arguable. They are better defensively, sometimes interiorly, but certainly to your point, they've got longer guards that they could put in on the out in a game like last night to get on Blackshear. Now, if Mashburn's on Blackshear like he was last year, exact situation, I don't know what happens last night. I know what happened last year, same situation. Mash was guarding the same dude who took the shot last night and it went the other way.
Yeah, and the other thing is a lot of these coaches have this recalcitrance, this stubborn conviction to just maintain their game plan, period, or their methodology of playing. But what I've noticed about Pitino is he has the flexibility, and he doesn't have the hubris where he'll actually make a change and talk to his players and say, hey, you may have to sit out this particular part of the game. I mean, that says a lot about coaching. I don't want to overstate that, but I appreciate his flexibility and, the fact that we have the personnel to implement, quote-unquote, adjustment.
Did you say recalcitrance?
Recalcitrant.
How do you spell that?
Stubborn. Well, I don't have I'm not the greatest speller, but I'm a pretty good wordsmith.
Yes, you are.
Recalcitrance is another word for stubbornness, inflexibility, a refractory personality, that kind of thing.
It's a good one.
At any rate, go Lobos.
See you later.
Thanks, buddy.
Later. I'm studying for the SAT. I'm trying to get better. Recalcitrance and hubris.
Yes. Defiance, being defiant towards authority.
You know that word? Yeah. How do you spell it?
That's one for the computer. You just get close and it'll fix it for you.
It's so good.
Or when you run into the ones, the computer's even like, I don't know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Not even close.
John says on the text line, Jeff, great interview with Lobo head coach Richard Pitino. Last night's game was indeed awesome. Go Lobos and go Coach Pitino. Appreciated that interview. Thanks, John in the Duke City. Appreciate you, John.
I appreciate him wanting to do it at
8 o'clock in the morning back there. Yeah, after a late night. No, I when I reached out last night, I wanted to see. My thought was they were going to be traveling early, and so if they were already up, somebody, was hoping to get Mash, but they let Mash sleep in, and they said, "Well, Coach will do it." So, thank you. This one says, I think Jerry Palmer drank a little too much Kool-Aid. He had Colorado State as a 5 seed in the Midwest region prior to last night's game. I don't think there's any way you put Colorado State above San Diego State or Utah State at this point. I think at this point it changed from 24 hours ago, right? I think if he redoes it, and when he does it for Friday, Colorado State will slip below San Diego State and Utah State, assuming Utah State wins tonight.
San Diego State was above Colorado State in this last ranked game.
Were they?
Yeah, they were at 4. Colorado State was at 5.
Okay.
But these things are snapshots of the moment, so yes.
But so, I don't know, they drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, their resume was pretty good, Colorado State's was.
7 quad 1 or quad 2. But they are 7 and 4 in those 2 quad 1. Non-conference strength schedule is 90. Being top 100, non-conference strength schedule really helped.
What's the Lobos?
Lobos, I will have to look at
non-conference strength of schedule.
Non-conference.
Yeah,
it was 260.
266 out of 360.
Mm-hmm. That's the difference. That's why the Lobos are a bubble. They have opportunities to not be a bubble team. They took one of those steps forward last night.
Well, I think that's just one of the things. DC pulled out a March Madness dictionary, right? Which is beautiful. And the first thing that came to my mind is body of work, right? The things we don't hear any other time, but this time of year, body of work is one of them. And when you got to look at all the numbers. And when you and I were called local wannabes and idiots or whatever we were called yesterday, if you just look at 20 and 5, what's that?
I want that to be my next podcast.
Well, local wannabes is
local wannabe podcast.
Yeah. Well, Addy said my fantasy football team should be Jibber Jabber Jab. As he called me yesterday.
Bunch of jive turkeys over here.
A bunch of jive turkeys. You look at a team that's now 20-5. You say, well, of course they're in the tournament. They were ranked. They were ranked in the AP poll last week. You got to look at the body of work, and nobody's whatever he accused us of or me of rejoicing in these losses. No, I let me just tell you, I've been doing this long enough, man. It's way more fun to cover a team that wins than to cover a team that doesn't win. It's way more fun. And I told you yesterday before we left, I thought they were going to win last night. But you got to look at the body of work. And when their non-conference strength of schedule is 266, these metrics matter. And when there's a bunch of dudes sitting and ladies sitting in a conference room in Indianapolis, going through this and sifting through teams and net rankings and quad one and all the stuff that it's way more than just, well, they're 20-5. Well, they beat San Diego State at home. Yeah, but they lost twice to UNLV. And where are their decisive wins? And you still have an opportunity to get some.
Yes, you do.
You got one last night. You have an opportunity on Friday. But with all due respect, beating up on Rice and Toledo on a neutral court and beating New Mexico State twice this year.
But what it did is it gave you the chance. You didn't fall on your face. You didn't have any games where like you just did
gave you a chance to build your resume when you got to league.
Exactly. As they're in a place where they then could capitalize on all these games that they're at in quad one, quad two opportunities. What Rich Pitino said this morning is like, hey, 5 of the next 7 be quad one opportunities for the Lobos.
It's kind of a beauty of what this league's become too.
And that's why the Mountain West is so fun.
Yeah. I love watching this league, and it's funny. We're talking to all right. I just clicked on this. This was put up 3 hours ago. I had not seen this. This is ESPN's Joe Lunardi. Is it Lunardi who wrote this? It's John Gasaway, ESPN. It's the headline on their page. Bubble Watch 2024. Brace yourself for the NCAA tournament. And it says, is the Mountain West in for a historic selection Sunday? This isn't you and me and you know, are they that good? This is ESPN, who doesn't carry the Mountain West. And I was in on some interesting conversations last week, you guys, about college basketball from an ESPN perspective and how they look at the Mountain West, right? Because they don't televise the Mountain West. They don't televise the Big East either, by the way. Right?
Correct.
But they got to recognize what's going on here. But it starts off, it says few conferences in 2024 have a larger footprint at Bubble Watch than the Mountain West. And it says San Diego State, Utah State, Colorado State, New Mexico, Nevada, Boise State could all reach the field of 68. By the way, UNLV could win the damn tournament. Probably not, but they can. And would it stun you? Surprise you wouldn't stun you. Right?
Good way to put it.
But it says, it goes on.
I really like this line because it kind of, it reinforces, I know at times it's numbing and we're going to have to kind of re-explain the definitions of all the words we're using.
Yeah.
Quadrants, net rankings, what it all means. It's because it says it in theory. So you have 330 teams that are competing for 38 spots.
Because you take out the automatic bid with the conference champions.
The 32 automatic qualifiers. And so how do you do it? Well, you got to use numbers. That's part of it. It's just part of it. There's no great way to compare 330 teams. And of course, that number is much smaller when you get to actually talking about who's going to be there for 38 spots. But why we talk about these things so much?
It's really interesting stuff. All right, we'll wrap it up. Everything you need to know as you go through your whatever day today is. Valentine's Day. Oh, by the way, it's Valentine's Day.
By the way,
I was asked. DC, you were in here years ago, before JJ was married. There was a Valentine's Day where he's like, "Dude, I really got to bring it." I mean, I'm getting called. Todd remembers that. He sent me an email this morning. Valentine's Day. Does JJ still need to quote bring it? Jeff, remember a few years ago, JJ was told by Tilly Savalas in no uncertain terms that he better quote bring it end quote for Valentine's Day. The OD producer at Julia took great joy in watching JJ with beads of sweat on his foreheads. Dude, Julia was laughing at him, kind of coaxing him, kind of coaching him. I mean, it only, how many years ago was that? How long have you been married? Because this was before you were married, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that has to be
9-10 years ago.
Yeah, 7-8 years ago at least.
He was sweating, dude. He was basically told to bring it. Is Valentine's Day a big deal in your relationship?
Not like huge. We'll go out. We'll have a good time. We're going to Jerry Seinfeld on Friday. So,
Are you?
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Where's that?
Kiva.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We got the good tickets.
That's when the
too.
Lobos play San Diego State, right? I guess I could record that and find a way in.
You should. Jerry, he'll bring it.
Yeah.
Jerry's bringing it. Are you?
Oh, you better believe I'm bringing it.
What's the deal with Seinfeld? Sorry.
Valentine's Day?
What's the deal with the chocolate? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like and show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International.
That article on the Bubble Watch, and again, ESPN, who does not even carry Mountain West, but this is the perspective from who wrote that story again, JJ? The writer on ESPN last night, from John Gasaway. This came out 3 hours ago. It says one hesitates to term any single game key or decisive, but coming at the time that it did, New Mexico's 1-point win on the road at Nevada was at least highly significant. The Lobos entered the contest having lost 2 straight home games, a rarity among teams in the top half of the Mountain West. Moreover, the resume metrics were being cool to Richard Pitino's group and asking, in effect, for a truly big win. Then Jamal Mashburn Jr. hit the go-ahead 3 from the corner with 20 seconds remaining against the Wolfpack, leaving Reno with a victory. Really was critical for projected number 11 seed New Mexico. Updated this morning. That's how big that win was. So you can poo-poo it if you want, and we'll see. And yes, you, like Richard Pitino said to us this morning, we go out and lose the next 6, it doesn't matter. But that puts you in position.
It does.
Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Howard.
Good morning, guys. You know, a little word to the wise. Once you find that special person in your life, you got to bring it the rest of your life, not just one day, you know? Anyway, I'm not much of a expert on love, but that's my little words of wisdom today.
Thank you, Howie. VD advice from Howard.
You know how smooth and suave and sophisticated
Yes,
I am, you know?
I'm well
anyway, hey, real quick, that was a great win last night, and I still am a firm believer they got to win 2 out of the next 3. 2 more good, solid road wins, and again, you know, San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State, whichever combination of those 2 would be really, I think, almost a clincher as long as they continue to play strong the rest of the year and make it to the finals of the Mountain West Conference tournament. And that's my belief. I hope they can achieve that. I believe they can achieve that. So, and I'm not sure if it was yesterday or Monday, Jeff, but you made some comments about Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
The new Cowboys coordinator. You felt like that was a really good hire?
I do.
Yeah, I think it's a good hire, but I thought Dan Quinn was a good hire, too. So, I mean, until
he was until he wasn't.
Jerry, yeah, until he wasn't, yeah. Until Jerry Jones finds a way to mess it up, I'm hoping Mike Zimmer can get the Cowboys over the hump defensively. But that's just one man's opinion because, you know, I'm a NFL expert wannabe, guys. Have a great Valentine's Day. Take care.
Later. We're all wannabes, man.
Yes, we are.
We're all just wannabes. I mean, every single one of us. All right, you got a big one tonight. Lobo women here on the Sports Animal. They are at home in the Pit. What time you crack them, Mike? What do you got tonight?
6:30 against San Jose State. It kind of got a win game for UNM because you don't want to drop a game to a team that's won 1 game in conference play. They just lost the last second game at San Diego State last time out. You have an off weekend, so you want to make it 2 in a row before a gigantic road trip next week at Wyoming, or at Boise State, at Wyoming.
A KGWG. It's a KGWG. It's kind of got a win game.
If you want to stay right there, nipping at the heels of Wyoming in second place, they're game back right now.
Those are the games where they're not must wins, but you kind of got to win.
I am having such a hard time right now not cracking up.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the visual image that I've got.
It's my new look, dude.
I like it, though. It's strong.
It's not quite ED Prime, but it's bordering.
Hey, it's never been done before.
Thanks to Richard Pitino. Woke up early, was with us this morning. It's available for you on our website if you want to hear it. Lobo head coach was really good this morning. Go to sportsanimalaBP.com. Click on the opening drive or wherever you get your podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's here at 4. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, thanks for fighting through all the issues this morning. Appreciate you. DC, great work. Big day for you. You got a big call tonight.
Huge day.
6:30, JJ will be on the radio from the Pit. Join him then. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a great Valentine's Day. We will speak with you tomorrow.
You hear it all the time.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us.